YMAX has severely disappointed me. Unfortunately, I am going to have to sell YMAX at a loss. Why am I have to sell it at a loss? I see no hope for it in the future, and I have reasons to back that up from my own mind. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper. All right. Look, before I get into why YMAX, I think, has no future and it's done, I don't sell things for a loss that I'm long-term holding. Why? Because I get into something because I have conviction. If I get into a stock I like, I plan to hold for a long time because I like the fundamentals, I like the chart, I have conviction in it. I had conviction in YMAX. Why? Because when it first came out, it had like 15 funds of YMAX, and it was balanced really nicely, right? The upper funds would be ripping, the lower funds would be dropping, but it stayed balanced. The dividend also was fairly small in comparison to a lot of others, so it also, on the dividend drops, didn't drop that hard, and it would bounce back repeatedly, time after time. We're not seeing that anymore with YMAX. And I'm not talking about just because like the market's going down, the recovery on it just isn't as good. And they're adding some more funds that are trash. I want to talk about this new SCMY they're going to be adding here in a little bit. Guys, it's horrible. Well, my opinion, it's not very good, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So why would I sell at a loss on something I'm long-term holding? That's because I've lost conviction in it, and I see no hope for it. So when that happens, I personally have to cut something. It doesn't make sense for me to hold something that's going to continually lose me money week in and week out. It doesn't make sense. I'll sell for the loss, put it in something much better that I will get my money back from the loss, right? There's some guys that sell at a loss repeatedly. They buy this, sell for a loss. Buy this, sell for a loss. You see it on YouTube all the time. That's not me, because I have conviction in things and I work through them and I study them. So it's very rare that I do that, but I'm doing it with YMAX. Now, I made a video about 3 months ago on YMAG outperforming YMAX, and at that time it was only outperforming YMAG was by a couple $300. Now the gap has widened, and it's going to widen more in the future. Check out these numbers, okay? And before I get to these numbers, I have a membership group. It's only $4 a month. Currently, we are 7-0 in our trades. And at the end of this week, it's looking like our play on Chewy is going to make us 8-0. Since I started the membership group on our swing trades, and we have a couple others working too, yeah, it's going to be 8-0 at the end of this week. It's only $4 a month. Cancel anytime. There you go. I'll leave a link in the description. So, YMAG currently, if you invested $10,000 at inception, you would have $11,367. Not bad considering all the dips in the Magnificent Seven and technology. It's still up. Very good. Very nice in total return with dividends reinvested. YMAX, if you invested $10,000 at inception, like I did, you'd only have $10,375. The gap is now about $1,000 difference. Now imagine if you put more into it, like 20 or 30 or 40 grand. That's a much more sizable gap, you know? So, and I see no hope for YMAX in the future and why I need to cut it. This is why. One of the funds they're adding, they're adding, and they're going to be adding more in the future. They're having a problem. They're adding funds, meaning YMAX, into their program, which have pretty high volatility. But the stock is continually dropping, meaning the underlying, and they're getting in here. And these things have been downtrending for quite some time. But I know why YMAX is bringing them on, because they're popular and They have a lot of IV. Just SCMI. They're going to call it SCMY, but their underlying SCMI, guys, has been getting roasted. I think the thing's like 400 bucks. It used to be like $1,200. This thing's like $400 or $500 now, and it's dropping steadily. It's got a problem. And if this trend continues to develop, there's going to be another fund put in to YMAX that's going to keep bringing it down. And the more funds they add that are consistent downtrends, it's only going to bring the fund down more and more and more. The better funds, the ones that can actually move YMAX up, are now getting overweighted by the poor funds. I see no hope for it. It's not for YMAX as it stands right now. I see no hope for share price appreciation at all in the future, not to a consistent level anyway. Their dividends will continue to be about the same price. It's bad. Now, this is the only one out of all the YMAX and high yield funds I own that is down on share price and dividends. I am red, okay, on it. It's the only one. I'm green on IWMY because of dividends. I'm green on AMZ because of the dividends, and sometimes their share price goes up and down, so it gets above my share price, gets below it, whatever. Still up on AMZ by a significant amount. Nvidia, still way up on that thing with the dividends, even though it's below my share price, right? SQY, same thing. Phoebe, same thing, right? YMAG, all these I'm positive on. YMAX is the only one I'm not positive on, and it's going to continue to drop. So I got to cut this girl. She's done. I got to let her go. Now, what am I going to move my money to? Probably YMAG, but I'm not 100% certain there yet. But I'm probably going to move it to YMAG because I feel with the numbers that this gap between the two is going to widen. And I think YMAG does give me some diversity with the Magnificent Seven. Now, can technology take a hit and go down for a few months or a year? Absolutely. But is technology done? No. No, you think, it's not done. And I don't believe it's done. So I have no problem adding them to YMAG, which is where I think I'm going to go with it. I'm probably going to sell it off for a loss tomorrow. Think about it for a couple days and then decide where I'm going to put my money. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be YMAG. Hope you enjoyed the content. This is Mike, in the dark, the Tactical Stock Scalper, out.